right, for the homestead update today, I will be trimming the goat hooves. So something that you don't think about when you have farm animals. I mean, maybe you've got cows, maybe you've heard of horses and whatnot. Their hoof management, it's not what you expect. So with goats, you're supposed to trim their hooves fairly regularly. There's not a specific timeline for it. You're just supposed to keep an eye on it. Because their nails or their hooves, it's not really their nails, it's just the equivalent of fingernails. Their hooves can grow and kind of curl under, and it creates a space where dirt and poop and other things can get stuck in there, and it's not safe or healthy for them. So today I'm going to be doing that, and we just bought some new clippers, which is good. Our old ones were getting a little dull, but I ended up losing them when I was moving the 3 tons of hay that we bought for our goats last year. We buy a year ahead, and just store it in our shop. While I was moving that, I set them up somewhere, which I thought was high enough, but I ended up bumping it and we lost them. So we've been without for some time, but we finally got the new ones. And they came with an extra spring, so I thought that I had to put the spring in. So essentially they just look like scissors, so to speak, but they're specifically for cutting hooves. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, kind of what the bad hoof looks like when it starts to grow too much, and then it gets dirty, and I'll show you how to cut it, which will be great. We'll go out there in just a second. We also got this set of brushes, which is going to be really nice to have because it's winter and everything's kind of melting now. It shouldn't be winter. It should be warmer now, but it's not. So I've got these set of brushes so that I can scrub out all of that nasty muck. Because the snow is melting inside their pen, it gets really soggy and gross and mucky. And so as they're walking in it, and of course because their overgrown toes create a space in there, it picks up all of that nasty stuff. So there's a spike on the end of it that I can use to dig some of that out, and then a brush that I can brush it out with. Before I was just using this, which isn't a huge deal. I mean, they're not gonna get hurt. You can see that there's a point on that. You can kind of dig out the stuff that you need to. It's not very efficient. It's kind of challenging, so that's why we got the sets of brushes so that we could do it more effectively. So I have, I've got the 5 does to take care of, and then the 2 bucks. Now, I'm not really looking forward to take care. I guess only one's a buck, the other one's a wether. I'm not looking forward to taking care of the buck because 1, he's aggressive, 2, he smells. So I'm actually gonna put on some different clothes because whatever he leaves on me is going to stay with me for a very, very long time. So I'm gonna go change my clothes and we'll head out and take a look at them. I do wish that it was a little bit warmer today, but it's not. And it's not terribly cold. It's in the high 20s, so I won't be freezing my butt off while I'm out here, but still it would be nice if it was a little bit warmer. In any case, I am home alone this weekend. My wife took the kids to their grandmother's house in Utah. I stuck around to take care of the goats, mainly because our house is still not really in shambles, so to speak, but they cut up our wall in the bedroom, and there's some really loud fans and dehumidifiers going. So in an effort to avoid that and the smells and the temperature changes, because our ceiling is currently cut open and cold air from the roof is coming in the house, my wife left. So it'll be interesting trying to take care of the goats by myself. I can do it. It's not a big deal. It's just much easier to catch them when there are 2 of you. So as it is, 2 of our goats are actually really friendly. Adele, who is one of the first goats, she was one of the first goats born when we bred the first 2 that we had. She's very friendly. And then her daughter, Rivelin, is also really nice as well. Actually, coincidentally, Rivelin is not her daughter. Sorry. It's confusing. You kind of forget their lineage when you have so many goats. No, Rivelin is just another one of the goats that is the product of our breeding, and she's a very sweet goat. They do look very similar. You'll see that in just a minute. They've got great dispositions. So we're hoping that these 2 have daughters because we would like to have goats with good personalities, and these 2 have great personalities. So the other 3 are going to be a pain to catch, and I'm going to have to trap them using pallets, block off their escape routes, and then grab them by their collars. So you can kind of see one of them right there. She's just sitting down outside enjoying the sun. I can't see who it is. It looks like that might be Janice. but they are in their houses right now, which I might take advantage of. If they're in their houses, it's much easier to catch them because they're just laying down. Fortunately, I won't be able to catch all of them. I might grab a couple and put leashes on them and then attach them to the little feeding stanchions that we have in here. Okay, here goes. Let's see if I can catch them. I might not be able to video the whole thing because I'm going to need my hands. But if I can sneak in here, oh, looks like they're not moving. So let's see if I can grab them if I come in here slowly and quietly. Nope, no go. they ran so fast. Yeah, come here. See, this is one of the sweet ones. No, she's not running. But I see one in there. That is Janice. She is medium friendly. Oh, goodness. So she might come to me, but I'm going to take advantage of her being stuck in the house. So that's part of the reason we put collars on our goats, just so it's easier to pull them places when we need them. So she's never had a baby before. She is pregnant this year. We hope so, at least. It looks like her belly's growing, so she probably is. But you have to train them to come. The other two that I said are friendly have had babies before. So they're already trained to come, which is part of the reason they don't run away from me. They know they'll get a treat if they come. So I have to teach the other ones. And as you can see, she's not super thrilled that I've got her, but you just lead them on gently and she'll come eventually. Come on, we're gonna go get a treat. Come on, come on. It's okay, Janice. Come on. So we try and teach them. Come on, come on. I know, it's so confusing. No, come on. What are you doing? She's desperate. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. They do get used to it pretty quick, but this is one of the first times she's been out here. Okay, hop up. Oh, you're fine. All right, so she's gonna be a little bit loud. Why are you eating that? This is the milking stanchion that we built. So there's some things about it that we she's gonna be loud, that we love, and then things about it that we don't love as much. You're fine. You're fine. You're okay. I know. So we put some feed in there, which she's kind of ignoring right now, just because she's still getting used to it. We don't love that we did not put metal down here. This is just particle board, and so it does get milk spilled on it occasionally. We're gonna need to replace that, but I've got this set up where they stick their head through here, and then you put these boards, and it's not really tight on her neck. It's actually pretty loose, but because their skull is too big, you can't get through that crack. So they can move around for the most part. They can stick their head through. They can eat their food, but it holds them in place. And then this is to train them to hold still. You put ropes around the back of their feet like that, and it holds them in. Yeah, you just put them right there, and it keeps their feet from kicking so that you can milk them. So I know she's pregnant because I can feel her udder is getting bigger. So before, now she had no udder. Now she's actually growing one, which means there are babies in there. The other thing that's not great about this situation is this shop that we're in is motion. The lights are motion activated. And the sensor is all the way on the other side. And we have this wall of hay that, you know, when we were building up the hay, we weren't thinking about it. And so you'll be over here milking, and because you're not moving, there's no movement, the lights will just turn off. It's not a big deal when the door's open and it's bright outside, but when it starts to get darker, you know, the days get shorter and shorter. In the mornings, when it goes out, it's pretty dark. So in any case, let's see if we can get her hooves taken care of without her yelling the entire time. Now I'm gonna brush her off for just a minute because she's clearly very nervous. So hopefully if we try to brush them every time we get started with milking or messing with them, doing anything with them, so that they kind of get that memory of knowing it's gonna be okay and we're not gonna hurt them, or just milking them, or in this case, cutting their hooves. We'll see if I can get her to calm down. She's not yelling right now, so that's good. But like I said, she's not used to being up here. We only got her up once before, and that was when we vaccinated them last week. But since then, or before then, she'd never been up here. So we're gonna see if we can get her to calm down. Just a minute. She's always been a skittish one. Okay, so here, if she'll be quiet, she's gonna kick for just a minute. Okay, calm down, you're fine. So you can kind of see that she's gonna, come on, Janice, you're fine. May have to try again filming with a goat that's not going to give me grief. Try this again. So you can kind of see along the edges right there. There's some overgrown stuff, and there's just poop and dirt and mud and all sorts of stuff that's stuck in there. So there, I'm using that spike, and I'm going to brush it out to get it nice and clean. Lighting in here is it's not the best thing in the world, but you should be able to see that just a little bit. So I'm just going to take the clippers and cut off the edges, just like that. All right, here we go. You know, once they realize that I'm not actually hurting them, they do calm down. But you can see I'm just going to use that to cut off that extra. You can see right there. Now, I can actually cut down pretty far. I won't, though, because I don't think they need to. The other interesting thing about this is you think, what about wild goats? Right? Like, they don't have anybody cutting their nails, so to speak, cutting their hooves when they get a little overgrown. You can see there when I cut it. There's some white. That's just the natural insides of it. But you see, it doesn't hurt her. She's just still nervous. You think she'd be calm now. Come on, Janice, you're fine. Eat your snack. I'll do this filming again with Rivelin because she will be calm. She's usually pretty calm during this whole process. Now, we've done this with Janice before, but when goats go months and months without being up on the stand, without having their nails cut or their hooves cut like this, they forget that we're not trying to kill them. It's a little bit ironic because we've never done anything to make her scared. She's just always been skittish. It's funny. That is part of the product of how they are raised. So we dam feed them or dam raise them, which means we don't bottle feed them. They just eat from their mom. And so dam raised goats are oftentimes not very friendly, but we can't at this time afford to bottle feed them. The time cost of something like that is crazy. It takes so long to bottle feed them. You can see she's sitting down. She's gonna be a little bit of a stinker. Why don't you just sit up again? But as I was talking about before, there you go. As I was talking about before, the reason that calm down. Wild goats don't have this problem is because they go up and down mountains. You know, they are walking along rocks. And the rocks naturally wear down this. And now hers are actually not that bad. I mean, you look at that and you can see the ridges. You can see that it's not great. But when I get Rivelin up here, it's more like Adele, that first goat that I talked about. First one we had, one of the first babies. She has really bad hooves. And it's just because of her genetics, the way her hooves look. But yeah, Janice's are a little bit worn down. She runs around a lot more. She's a lot more energetic. As you can see, Janice has energy. But we're hoping that if we can work with her more, she gets friendlier and friendlier every year. Now, right now, she's not seeming friendly, but it's because I'm messing with her. When you let her come up to you and smell you and feed her raisins and stuff, she absolutely loves you. Even though she's skittish, she'll come to you. Right now, less friendly because I am messing with her and she's not loving that. So we'll go ahead and end this, and I'll come back on when I've got Adele on the stand and show you what that looks like with someone who will hold more still. Well, we have sufficiently tortured her. She thinks she's dying. She's not. In any case, we're gonna go ahead and let her free, and we'll go get another one. The other thing that we're trying to train them on is they get too antsy to leave, and sometimes they run. And so we try to train them, to go slower, to walk. She's very, very skittish. I told you she's the most skittish of all of them, even though she's friendly. She's very energetic. Okay, Janice, you need to chill. I know. You ready? Oh, look at that. She's leaving a present for me. I'll clean that up after. Are you ready to go back in? Yes. All right, here we go. No, right here. There you go. So if I hold her like this, kind of like this stanchion, she can't get away. That lets me detach that leash, and then I can let her go. And see, she's fine. Now we're gonna have to, I'm gonna get a friendly goat now, because as much as I love to try to fight with another goat on a video, let's get a really calm one. And there's one right there. That is Adele. I mentioned, she is one of the sweet ones. I'm still gonna walk carefully though, because you can see she's high on alert. You can see her ears perked up. It's because Janice threw a fit. It's a herd mentality, right? So when one of the goats screams or freaks out, they all kind of go into panic mode. Even though she's very friendly, she's a great goat. She gives us the most milk of any of the goats, and she has a really cute babies. Now, we were kind of sad last year because she had 2 boys. We're hoping that this year she has at least 1 girl. So she had twin boys. They were the cutest ones, and they were very friendly. Like I said, her disposition. Her goats were friendly because she is friendly. So hopefully she has a girl so we can have another friendly doe. But anyway, I'm going to take her. She'll come with me pretty easily. I won't even need a leash. See, she has done this before. I don't even have to hold her. Okay, go. Go, go, go. Hop up, hop up. Hop up, hop up. She's a little confused because there's no other goats. Okay. She can hear her niece freaking out, Janice. Okay, hop up. Just hop up, hop up. I know, there's new things. Hop up. Come on. She's so easily distracted. Good girl. Look, there's some stuff in there for you. Some green. See, she went up by herself for the most part. She's done this hundreds of times, and she will not yell. She'll not kick. She might kick a little bit. But let me show you. In hers, her hooves are going to be bad. She'll kick a little bit until she gets used to it. So can you see that? That is really bad. And that's just because her genetics. Her hooves grow like that. You can see there's the extra right there. She's always been this way. And that's the one thing we don't love about her genetics, is that her hooves just grow really quickly and bad. So I'm going to take care of that, and I'll show you what it looks like after. I was actually just going to take an after picture or do an after video, but she is really being such a sweetheart. So if you want to see what the cutting process looks like, it's going to be much better on a goat that's not going to kick and try to get me to let go of her foot. So here we go. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so here we go. So you just got to cut these edges off. I said she wasn't going to kick, and here she's kicking. You cut off the edges, and then I will get the brush for that in just a second. But the idea is this needs to be flush with the flesh. That was unintentionally an alliteration, but flush with the flesh of her hoof. And you can see in just a second when I brush all that nasty stuff out, how that will look. So if I take this brush and this pick, kind of dig out that fun stuff, we're almost there. You can see how there are little edges, little crevices that I can stick this spike in. That's a problem, right? There shouldn't be those crevices. We don't want those. We want it to be flush. So I'll take this, I'll cut it. She's getting a little antsy right now. I think it's because I'm talking. Normally I do this silently. She is wondering what's going on. This whole YouTube channel is a new thing, so they're not used to being videoed so much. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. There we go. Perfect. So you can see that right there. It is flush. There's no more ledge or crevice, so to speak, for anything to get caught into. That is good. And so, perfect. That will keep her good for a while. Although hers grow pretty terribly, so it won't look like that for very long. I'm sure in about a month it'll grow back again. But it'll make her a lot happier. I'll cut off that little knob right there. And her feet won't collect any of that nasty crap. Now, I didn't have a really great stand for showing you, because I should have done like a time lapse of me going through each of her hooves. She was a good goat. She didn't even make a sound, except for that one time you heard. She just sat there. She's waiting patiently. She's not even shaking. She's just hanging out. And this is why we train them. We teach them that it's okay to come out here. They get a little treat. I'm surprised she's not eating it. They're a little picky about what they eat. You think, you hear stories about goats wanting to eat everything, but they don't. At least our goats are very picky. If something falls on the ground, they won't eat it. Even if the ground is clean, they don't care. If they saw it fall on the ground, they don't want any of it. In this case, this grain that we have is a little bit older. We took it out of the bag a few months ago. It doesn't get stale or anything as far as I can tell, but they are just grumpy about it. She's just sitting here. She doesn't want any of it. Huh, Dell? It's got molasses on it, so it tastes sweet. She's just sitting here holding still. I didn't brush her though. She's probably fine though. Like I said, she's used to the whole thing, so she'll stand there nicely. When we do start milking, we'll show you what their udders look like. I can feel that hers is coming in. You can see she is bulging a little bit on the right. That is where the babies start to show up, and yeah, she definitely feels like there's some more chunk there, so probably more than likely there will be babies coming from her. And we'll see if it's just 2. She had 1 the first year, 2 the next year, and her lineage, so her grandmother, who was one of the first goats we had, her name was Miko, she had quadruplets last year. We don't have Miko anymore. We ended up selling her off because she wasn't producing the most milk for various other reasons. Miko was very friendly because Miko was bottle fed. As I mentioned before, if they're bottle fed, they are friendly for the rest of their lives. Our buck was bottle fed, which is why he is very friendly, because humans give food. They learn that pretty quick, the instincts. In any case, yeah, Miko had quadruplets, so more than likely, I think her mom had triplets too. Adele's mom had triplets last year too. So more than likely she'll have more and more each year. We just hope that she doesn't have too many, because 1, that's dangerous to the mom, and 2, it means we have to bottle feed babies because she can't feed them on her own. If there's usually 3 is kind of the limit. One of them, if there's 4, one of them doesn't get enough milk because they get kind of bullied off of the udder. Kind of sad. So we just pull them and bottle feed them. Just kind of pick them at random, usually the boys, because we can sell them off a little bit earlier. I don't think I quite trust her to go on her own. Like in last year when we were milking, I would trust her to go on her own. Now I'm gonna hold on to her just in case. But okay. But I mean, she knows where she's supposed to go. So there you go. Easy peasy. Now here's a goat that doesn't make any sense. Her name's Millie. She was born one of the first babies we ever had. I remember her being so tiny and so cute. And now she's one of our fatter goats. I don't know if it's because she eats a lot or what, or if she's lazy. But she's also really skittish. She had babies last year. She had these twin babies. One was a girl and one was a boy. They were the lightest colored goats we've ever had. Normally they are black, brown, and with a little bit of white, but hers were all white and light brown. They were really cute. We thought about keeping the daughter from her, but her disposition wasn't the best. We named her Gabby, the daughter that we sold. But Millie is, you'd think after having babies and have been milked the entire season that she would be used to being up here. But she's not. She still throws a fit, and you can hear her grumbling. She's not yelling, because she's not like terrified. She's just unhappy. She's an unhappy goat. She is the only light colored one that we have. You can see she got that from her dad. The last buck we had was named King B. He looks just like this. He seriously looks like a fluffier version of Millie. She's really adorable, and we hope that if we can teach her to be less distraught and grumpy whenever we need to bring her in here, then maybe her babies will also learn that and be less scared, and we can keep one of hers. But you can see she's quite large. She's got some meat on her. Now, a lot of this is fur. Their fur gets really, really thick for the winter, and then they shed this all. She's actually already starting to shed some. You can see it coming off on my hand. But yeah, when they shed it, there's so much that comes off of them. She's still fluffy though, because it's cold outside, but I won't try to film me doing her feet because she's gonna kick like crazy. I already know she will. It's not worth trying to film that. I figure the worst, it wouldn't be too bad to show you what it looks like now and then do before after with her. So here's a close-up. You can see that is not what it's supposed to look like. Looks pretty bad. I actually did her other foot, so I can pull that up and show you. She's not stop being a snot. You can see that is more like what it should look like. Now it's a little bit dirty because her hair came off, but you can see that there's no overlapping of her hoof. So that was the good, and that is the bad. So we're gonna take care of that. And just like that, that is what it looks like now. So much better, much flatter, and as she walks on it, it'll get even more even. Well, I'm out of breath because I did the buck's hooves. They smell terrible. And I did the weather first. His name's Merrick, after characters in my book. He's one of the main characters in my books, coincidentally. Anyway, Merrick was great. He stood there. He was fine until Toulouse, the buck, decided it was the perfect opportunity to try to practice mating on the other boy. That's what they do when there's no does close by. They practice. Now, Merrick has built up his courage. He has been fighting back, so I don't think Toulouse has been able to practice on him. But I was holding him down, you know, to cut his hooves. So he started to get stressed because Toulouse was trying to jump on top of him while I'm holding him down. It was a whole mess. You can hear Toulouse. He's mad at me. There he is right there. He's mad at me because I pinned him down to cut his hooves. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not going to bring him all the way over there to our shop to get on the stand. And even if I did, I don't really want the stand to smell like him. My clothes stink. My hands stink. I'm sure my face smells like his pee, his ish. Regardless, he's done. And I win. And he's going to be mad at me probably for the next week. But he will forget about it. You can see Merrick is cowering behind that. Not because he's mad at me, just because he's mad at Toulouse for trying to get on top of him. Anyway, when it's warmer out here, I don't think because when there's no snow, when there's no poop, when there's no muck, they will run around. Toulouse actually paws at the gravel. They're on gravel. He'll paw at the gravel, and so his hooves won't actually be that bad in the summer. Fortunately, because it's winter, everything's covered, everything's wet, it's muddy, it's gross. So the rocks are all hidden. Those will all clean off once everything melts. And looking forward to those times. Anyway, we're done. It took way longer than I expected, mainly because I was doing it by myself. And naturally, I was trying to video it. But all their hooves are clipped. They all seem happy and content. They're no longer angry at me. There you can see the does. They're much calmer now, and I bet they feel a lot better. Because now they can walk without uneven hooves. You can see Millie, how wide she is. I don't know how much of that is babies and how much of that is just fat. And then there is Adele. As I mentioned, sweet. Except I probably smell like Toulouse now. And she's like, what is that smell? Sorry, honey. I stink like him. In any case, there's peace yet again on the Kenner homestead. And we won't have to do this again for another month or two. And maybe by then, we're going to start training them on the stand here soon. So maybe at that point, it won't be as big of a deal for me to take them out and cut their hooves. Anyway, see you next time.